2 weeks ago, Square went down and had a massive outage that affected so many business owners. And you know I have something to say about it, so let's talk about it. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Simpson, and I'm helping you maximize your time and talents as a growing small business owner, so make sure to subscribe for new videos every week. So it should be no surprise that I'm coming to you with some Square content because I've talked about them a couple times in the past. I did an in-depth video on what my thoughts are after using them for almost a decade at this point, as well as talked about one of their policy changes and what I disagreed with. So when Square went down a couple weeks ago, I had a feeling this was coming. Ironically enough, the way that I found Square actually went down was I was in the middle of editing another video about affiliate marketing, and I wanted to make sure I had my numbers right and everything that I was putting in there, and I wanted to log into Square. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't log in. It was really weird. It was out on my phone, on my computer, everywhere. So I went to downdetector.com, where you go to just confirm that, hey, is this working? Is it just me or is it everybody else? And of course, they confirmed what I was afraid of, which was that Square was experiencing a very big outage. Now, don't get me wrong. Things happen from time to time. I, as a business owner, understand that. People get sick, emergencies happen, people get in car accidents, so people-y things happen. And then as a business, you have to navigate when these oopsies come up. And you ultimately are going to have days that don't go so smoothly. The key here is how do you handle it for your customers? Now, it was about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I realized that Square was down. And apparently it had gone down around 3 p.m. It was down for many hours, affecting people who are working in the evening hours on Eastern Standard Time, and then people who are working during the perfect daylight hours and business hours on the West Coast. So obviously the timing was absolutely terrible. I want to say that the outage took place for probably a solid 8-ish hours, but I can't confirm. I'll try and find some screenshots to see if they told us exactly how long it was. Now, the day after and in the couple days after that, we did get several emails from Square. One of which was an initial apology about, sorry that this happened and we're doing what we can to resolve it as quickly as possible. That's just kind of like your status quo, we're putting it out there, we're acknowledging it, we're not burying it under the rug. Next, we got an email a little bit later that was basically saying we had about 24 hours to redeem immediate transfer if we wanted to. So rather than charging their extra percentage for immediate transfer, basically they're making up for the fact that, hey, we messed up, we had an outage for a day, so if you want to take your money right out for free, go ahead. I personally didn't take advantage of this because it was on the weekend. I didn't need it that badly. I'm very used to waiting until Monday to get my deposits from the following Friday, so I just kind of left it. I did think that was a step in the right direction of reconciling this though. Then we got a third email, and this was also kind of just, again, apologizing, further explaining what had happened, and as well as talking about how they're handling this in the future, including expanding their offline mode capabilities. Now, I'll be honest, I never use offline mode. I don't really have a use for it. Whenever I am checking people out, I am usually connected to Wi-Fi. Or if I'm checking people out on my phone on the go, I'm on data. I'll be honest and say I don't think I've ever used offline mode, so for me it's something I would have to look into and make sure it's user-friendly and easy to understand, because it does feel like a bit of a risk taking payments in offline mode. They claim that it works just the same, and then once you go online, you get your payments, everything's fine. Maybe it's just me, but it kind of feels like if you take a check from a client and you're waiting for it to clear and you're giving them the benefit of the doubt that it will clear, but if it doesn't, you now perform the service or sold the product or whatever, and now you're out the money. That's just a personal thought though. It's just kind of like a comfort thing. I would definitely rather take payments in real time online and see it physically processed immediately. The only thing that confuses me with this is I was not able to log in at all. So while offline mode might be helpful, and they did say that there were a lot of people who utilized offline mode during this outage and it was successful and everything, my problem was I couldn't get in my account at all. Therefore, how would that help me in an outage if it kicked me out? I mean, it actually kicked me out of my phone, because my phone, I know it was still logged in. It had not been logged out before this. The computer, that always logs out after a few hours, so that's whatever. But I found that really weird that I just couldn't get in. and I didn't see any kind of button or anything that says offline mode if you're not in your actual account. That's the one question I would really like answered from Square is, what do I do with that? If this happens again, if I cannot physically get into my account, I can't do anything. I can't accept any payments from you guys, even in offline mode. Perhaps it's a capability that they're going to be working on, but we will have to see. And as much as I do prefer Square over Stripe, which I'll be talking more about in an upcoming video, it's a good idea to have 2 or 3 different methods to accept payment in case this happens. The likelihood of every platform going down at the same time is slim to none. So if Square were to go down again, I would probably either just check people out on Stripe or Venmo. I would honestly probably go towards using my Venmo business account. It's a legitimate account for business transactions, just like Square and Stripe are. I don't love to use it for all transactions, but in cases like this, it would definitely come in handy. You're able to refresh right then, make sure the payment goes through, and you're good to go. So ultimately, that is my suggestion, is have 1 or 2 backup plans and 1 or 2 backup platforms that you can use just in case this happens, because ultimately outages do happen, which is why I wasn't so up in arms about this, because technology will be technology. There's security things that can happen all the time, or when a company is trying to update a software, sometimes oopsies happen. So I get that it happens. Like I said, it's just all about how they kind of go about handling the situation. And I would say how they handled this, I would give it like an 8 out of 10 score. I think it was really good that we got the 3 emails pretty quickly after this happened, that they offered the immediate transfer free of charge initially, and that they explained how they're going to fix this in the future, because repairs are important. Where I think they fell short, and I'm pretty sure they acknowledged this, is they were radio silent when it was actually happening. And I get it. You're behind the scenes trying to rush and figure it out, get it fixed and back up for everybody. But there definitely has to be someone on your team who is communicating on social media, sending an email, something, acknowledging that it's happening in the current moment. Because again, at first, I had no idea if this was a my account problem or if it was a them problem. And so now you have your customer kind of scrambling to figure out what the heck is even going on top of not being able to use something that is vitally important to their business. It's not something that I am going to leave the platform over. There are some people that were expressing that on social media. And hey, do what you got to do for you and your business at the end of the day. But like I said, I understand that things are going to happen from time to time. They do in my business as well. So again, it's just all on how you handle it. Do you use Square? Did this affect you? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to stay with them? Are you thinking of switching? How do you think they handled it? Next, take a look at this video all about a policy that they incorporated earlier this year that I definitely don't agree with.